Are you looking for advice on how to improve the edging of your lawn? If so, you clicked on the right video. Coming up, I show a couple of techniques that are really going to help you improve the result you get when you edge your lawn, along with a couple of bonus tips you may not have heard before. Let's get started. Hello YouTube. Welcome to Project Golf Course Lawn Season 5. So let's talk about edging. You know, it's often a neglected aspect of a home lawn care program. We spend all the money on the right mower, on watering, putting the right fertilizers down, and then you do all that work and you neglect the edge. And really, you have to think about it. The edge is almost like a fine tie that a guy's wearing that makes the suit, or the shoes that you see a lady wearing that make her outfit really just stand out. Edging is that thing for your lawn. It's the thing that gives it that crisp, well-manicured appearance that we all really strive for. So how do you go about getting it? Well, I'm going to share two major techniques with you today, along with a couple of bonus tips that will really help you get the most out of the edging work that you're going to be doing. So the first tool that we're going to talk about is just your good old-fashioned string trimmer. Now, all of you guys probably have one of these. You can use it for taking care of horizontal edges along like hardscapes, but this can also be used for edging. Oftentimes when I watch some of the landscape guys in our area doing work, they'll often use one of these to edge their lawn. Now, it takes some practice, but you can get a reasonably good result with this, again, with practice. The thing that I've seen that works well is instead of hovering or holding the trimmer out away from your body as you're doing it, you want to anchor it against your body to some extent. Because remember, this isn't sitting on the concrete or on the sidewalk as a guide to creating that good edge. It's really your walking pace and how you guide it really is going to strongly dictate the result that you get. So what I've seen a couple of different techniques. I've seen people where they'll hold it high and make passes like this. And what I've done in the past, I'm too tall to do that, is to anchor it against my body, so against my hip, and then literally start the trimmer up, and then just walk slowly and smoothly along the edge to create that result. So the advantage to this is this is something you guys probably already have. You don't have to go and buy another attachment, and with practice, you could get a reasonably good result. Now, one thing you'll notice with my sidewalk is that it's not straight. For whatever reason, in my neighborhood, they decided it looks cool to build sidewalks with curves in them. And because of that, this is incredibly difficult to get a crisp edge, on the sidewalk. Because you can see, like my edging is really, really good, and I was not ever able to get that kind of result using a string trimmer. So then, what do you do instead? Option B, and the one that I really recommend, is using an actual dedicated edging tool. So this is the attachment that goes on my Stihl combi system, and it's a dedicated edger. Now this has the advantages in the sense that it's got a wheel, so it's very easy to guide along the surface of the sidewalk. It's got when the blades are new, it's a sharp edge, so it creates a very, very crisp cut. And when it comes to following complex curves, very complex contours like what you see I have here, this is really, really good. Now, I've been running this one for a while, and I wanted to show you guys a worn down one to show you that this is really not what you want, where you want to be using these as. So, kind of like when it comes to a lawnmower blade, they cut best whenever they're sharp. When it comes to your edger, having a sharp and fresh blade is really important. So while this one has been worn, I've been using this one for most of the season, a fresh blade is going to look something more like this. So you can see how it's all squared off. Along the edge is a nice square edge, and that is really going to go a long way towards producing a very good result on your lawn. So while this can work, and as you can see, like my actual leading edge is still fairly good, like this edge here has been rounded off quite a bit. A key tip I can give you guys for allowing this to last longer, because you can put one of these on your trimmer and you can go through a blade in a month if you're not careful. So the trick to getting a good, or to preserving these as long as possible, is if we figure that my hand is the sidewalk, right, and I curve down, so this is the edge. So the grass is like all here in this area. This is the flat part of the sidewalk, and this is the edge. Whenever you're using one of these, instead of running it flat against the edge of the sidewalk, so in other words, you have the entire blade making contact and quickly wearing it, can it just slightly, and when I say slightly, I mean just a touch. You don't want to be like running it like this, because you'll end up with like a beveled edge, which is not going to look good. But by canning it just a touch, you're going to take a lot of this this rubbing away from the sidewalk, and it's going to make your blade last that much longer. So it's a small tip, something you have to kind of play with to kind of learn like how much you need. But you'll be able to tell by the sound of the machine, because when this is running, it makes a lot of noise when it's running against the sidewalk. And then once you just can it just a touch, maybe an 1/8 of an inch, a 1/16 of an inch, just off just a touch, you're still going to get a great result. And these blades are going to last a lot longer. Again, I've gotten almost an entire season out of this single blade. And if you don't do this, you can easily be changing blades monthly. So just something to keep in mind. Now, bonus tip, the secret sauce, the thing that most people don't think about when it comes to edging. Like, the edge of your lawn grows like any other part of the grass, right? And unless you really enjoy edging and you want to do it every single time you mow the lawn, adding a product like what I'm going to show you guys here next, called PGR, really makes a big difference in how often you have to edge your lawn. It does two things. One, it helps the edge last a lot longer. So, good example, in summer months in Georgia right now, you could easily be mowing, every other day, every 2 days, and really without some kind of regulation, you're also going to have to be edging to maintain that look. With plant growth regulator, this one I'm showing you guys here is a product called T-Nex. If you apply this to the lawn, literally you can edge once a week. So in my case, I might mow the lawn 3 times a week now that it's under regulation, and I will have to only edge 1 time out of that week. So it's a huge time savings in the sense that when I mow the lawn, it takes me about 45 minutes. If I add edging, it adds easily another 10, 12, perhaps 15 minutes, depending on how detailed I want to get. But by using this product, literally you can cut your edging down to once per week. As far as application rates for when you're using T-Nex for this purpose, it's a little bit heavier than when you're applying it to your turf in general. For my lawn, which is a Tifway 419 Bermuda, the application rate is 0.38 ounces per 1,000 square feet. And the edging rate, the trim rate, which I'll put up here so you guys can actually see, there's actually a rate that T-Nex provides for actual edging work. It's a little over double, it's almost double that. So 0.38 is what I apply to the normal lawn, to the rest of to all of this area that you see here. And along the edge, the rate is 0.75. So there's a couple ways you can go about accomplishing that. You can either mix up a special batch of a mixture of plant growth regulator just for doing edging, or you can do what I do, and that's just simply to make 2 passes. So what I mean by that is I'll do the entire lawn, right? So I'll do the entire lawn with my 0.38 rate. And then to finish up, I'll make another pass just along all the edging of the lawn to get effectively, you're effectively doubling the application rate. I mean, it doesn't quite work out exactly that way because the concentrations aren't the same, but the results that I've gotten with it have been very, very good. It saves you the time from having to mix yet a special, backpack jug of this stuff just for edging, and it's going to produce a great result. So if you guys are considering really going into improving the edging of your lawn, and you're probably already using plant growth regulator anyway, consider upping that dose. Again, you guys saw the car that I had up there. Just in applying some just to the edging of your lawn, it's going to help a ton. It's going to preserve that edge a lot longer. It's going to fall off a lot slower, and just going to maintain that manicured look that much more. Well, guys, I hope you guys found this useful. I try to make this video as quick and as concise as possible. Hopefully, you guys got some good tips or guidance out of it. If you guys are using something different, so if you're not using, the string trimmer or the dedicated edger, let me know in the comments below what you've used and any other tips, anything I may have missed that you guys have gotten great results with. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, and be sure to subscribe, guys. I make a lot of this content, and I hope you guys find it useful. So if you subscribe and you hit the notification bell, you'll always be the first to know about whenever I release something new. Again, thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Have an amazing day.